Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. This video is a little different, so it's going to be a review about the two different art shows that I've done. I've done two of them now, and yeah, let's just get into it. So, back-to-back weekends. The first one I did was April 30th, and it was a bigger event that the particular ones who put it on only do 4 of them a year, I believe. So there's like 100 plus vendors there. And then the following weekend, May 7th, that just happened, was a monthly show that happens at the Legion in Peterborough. So it is more often, and it's a much smaller event. There was 18 vendors in the one room in the back of the Legion kind of thing. So very different in style and who puts it on and everything. So I'll go over the first one, the big one first. Like, I had to provide everything, and it was a little more expensive to get into, but I did very well at it as well, because like there's more people attracted to it, more foot traffic kind of thing, so more people, higher the odds that you're gonna sell something, right? So it was good that way. Cost more to get in. Had to provide my own table and figure out lunch kind of thing for the day. Like, nothing else was provided, and I believe I didn't need hydro, but I believe hydro was extra kind of thing. Other than that, it was a good show. Like, I enjoyed it. There was a lot of people that went through there in that day. And I did very well at that show, which was, I was happy as my first show. Like, you know, I didn't know what to expect at all. So it went really good. And I was in a really easy spot. Like, I was basically in the door and to the left. Like, it wasn't very far to travel to, like, carry my things in and out kind of thing. And then, so the next show I did was at the Legion, and it was smaller. And I wanted to do it beforehand, but I didn't get in time to do, because they do it at the beginning of every month. So it was a little cheaper to get a place in that show. But then that show, they provide your table, they provide lunch, and they actually had coffee and tea for you all day long kind of thing. And yeah, so I think that was all. And like free Wi-Fi while you were there. I don't know about the hydro, but like I was against the wall and there was an outlet, so I'm sure it probably wouldn't have been a problem if I just wanted to plug something in right there. I don't think they would have charged any extra or anything. They were pretty generous that way, which was really, that's really nice. Like, it's awesome. The only thing with that show was that particular day that just happened, it was a slow day, because there's a lot of the vendors there, they go every month kind of thing. And they were even saying that it was a slow day, which no one really knows why, but you get those times, right? Plus, I didn't mention this, but the table they provided was actually an 8-foot long table, whereas the one that I had to provide myself at the first show, the bigger show, I only had a 6-foot table. I don't know if they make 8-foot tables that fold up, because the 8-foot table at the other show was a solid table. So even if I had one, I don't know if I'd be able to transport it there kind of thing. I actually really liked the 8-foot table, because I was able to, when you see the way I had my table set up, you could see the way like my paintings were laying out on the table. So the 8-foot gave me that extra 2 foot of room to have more prints displayed, because I was able to put more racks out kind of into the middle. And then I was able to, I had a few less paintings, but still I was able to like put them out a little more so you could see more of the painting at once kind of thing. So the 8-foot table was really nice. Whereas at the other show, the bigger show, I only had a 6-foot table, but my slot was also only 8 by 10, and I believe it was 8 at the front. So even if I did have an 8-foot table, it wouldn't have worked with the slot that I bought, because then you wouldn't have any walking room around your table at the front unless you put it at the back, but I wasn't prepared to set up like that. So at the smaller show, like they did a really good job, and it was like so much more personal because there's so many less people there to deal with. I think it was like 9 o'clock. We were there from 8 till 10 setting up kind of thing, and I think at 9 o'clock they kind of did like a little announcement just to go over everything, tell us that there's coffee, where the bathrooms were, and like just an overall thing, not to pack up till like right at the last hour kind of thing, not like 15 minutes early because then everyone starts kind of thing. So that was really nice information, especially if it's your first time, because you don't know what to expect and what to do really. So at the first show I did that was bigger, it was kind of just like walking around in the dark, because like I went in and there was a table set up there, and it was nothing on their part, but like I had to ask like if they were the ones to tell me where to go. They weren't as friendly, I guess. I don't know if they just expect you to know kind of thing, but I didn't. So then they had to tell me exactly where I was. I think I kind of knew where I was, but I guess in case it got changed for some reason, they were just telling me. So then they just pointed me in that direction. But at the same time, I was the one who had to start that conversation, which to me is kind of backwards. Like, they should have been, said hi to me as soon as I came through the door kind of thing is what I would expect to tell me where to go. But then that was fine. And then I guess you just had to figure it out from there, because there's no like instruction of like where the bathrooms were, or like, any other protocols that might be important or anything. I guess like they didn't provide anything for you either, so maybe they didn't feel like they were responsible for doing that. But all in all, like, both shows were really good, and I would probably do both of them again. I feel like the smaller one at the Legion, like, I did want to do the beginning of April one, but it was booked up already. So I feel like throughout the summer months, it might not be as busy, which I'm busy anyway, so I wouldn't be doing shows during that time. That's why I wanted to do some in the springtime. So it is weird, because it's right before Mother's Day when this video comes out, that show didn't do good though, but it's hard to say. Hit and miss all the time, right? Pros and cons about the both, and my experience, everyone's experience is going to be different, and different locations, different prices for everything, different people, different venues every time, so it's very variable. But I just wanted to tell you guys my experience, because those were the first two I did, and I did have a fun time at both of them. So, and I had lots of people that came and supported me, and I had lots of people, like, exposure kind of thing, which was good. So yeah, other than that, if you guys are one of the ones that did come and see me, thank you. Like, I really appreciate it. Or a new follower now because of that. Like, that's fantastic too. And yeah, but if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments and just let me know what you think, or if you had any other questions that I didn't really cover, if you're interested in doing an art show, like the nitty gritty. Because I did at the first show I went to, I had another young artist. I guess he was like, he must have some art and he's been thinking of doing an art show. So he just asked me on just like pricing everything and like what it costs to go in it and other stuff. And like Peterborough has a bylaw that you have to have insurance kind of thing. And which, I mean, it's a good thing to have anyway, just for the day, right? Like, I think my insurance was for the day $18. So, like, if anything gets damaged or if anyone, like, tries to blame anything on you, like, you're covered. Like, that's basically what it's there for. Which, I mean, $18. You sell one painting and it's covered for. It's worth it for sure. And then just the table booth kind of thing. So, I was telling him all that information, which, to me, I didn't really have any of that information before I decided that I wanted to do a show. And so before we go, sorry, this is dragging on, I promise this is the last point, but that was the biggest thing, because last year I think I wanted to do some shows, but the biggest thing holding me back was cash or debit kind of thing, because I'm not set up to, like, I don't have one of those blocks, and I don't use data on like my regular plan. Like, I just don't need that, and I don't use it. So and I didn't really look into it, but I didn't get one of those squares that people can use their debit card or credit card, I think maybe, to pay for things. So I would just be cash strictly. And I did research a little bit, and a lot of people said like it's really handy to have, because obviously a lot of people have stopped using cash, which to me, cash is still king. You know, that is what it is. When I go to things like that, I carry cash because that's just how I think those things should be. And for small businesses, cash does not lose their value. If you give someone a 20, it's going to be 20 forever. Like, that is what it is. But when you use a machine and they're paying to like have it used and then fees on that, like there's just little nitty gritty fees that add up. Like, most people don't think it's a big deal, which it may not be, but I'm just saying that it devalues that $20 electronically compared to a dollar bill. That's all. So that was, I think, the biggest thing holding me back last year. And then this year I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to try it. Never know until you try. So I tried it. I just had cash. And honestly, I never had anyone at all come up to me and ask if I took debit or anything. They all had cash. Like, it was just kind of expected, which was like a huge relief over me. Like, it took out a lot of like the anxiety of maybe looking into doing other shows kind of thing. So if that's a worry for you, I mean, I would just try it and see what it is. Obviously, different areas might be different. So, but yeah, for me, that was one, and I just overcame it. I just kind of threw that worry out the window. There's no sense in worrying about anything until it's happening. So, meanwhile, like at the Legion, when you could use the Wi-Fi, maybe it would have been a better deal kind of thing. But at the bigger show where it was all on you to do everything, like I wasn't going to be trying to fiddle with stuff like that while, you know, so much is going on. So cash was the way I was going, and that is what it is. And there's ATMs at these like places, so if they really wanted something, they would go get the cash and come back. So I wouldn't be worried about something like that. But other than that, shows are really good. Like, I enjoyed it. The day actually went by pretty fast. And yeah, so if you're thinking about doing it, like, I would just try it. Just try it and see. If it's not for you, it's not for you. You don't have to do it again. The only thing that is a little annoying to me too is like, you have to research and find these shows. Like, literally, I think I knew about these shows back at the end of February. Like, you have to be 2 to 3 months ahead of schedule if you know there's a show coming up that you want. And especially like around Christmas, I tried to get into a show last Christmas season, and like I did make the cut, but like they look for people very early on, like very fall kind of thing. Like, they're looking for vendors by then. And like, it was so overwhelmed that I didn't make the cut kind of thing. Like, there's twice as many people as what they could hold, so it didn't work out. But that's okay. There's always another time or another place or anything. But that's another thing, is just to be, if you know, like in the spring, I would start looking in the winter kind of thing. Like, you know, they're always like few months ahead of schedule. So I would keep that in mind if you're thinking about it as well for your schedule. So yeah, but I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope it helped anybody out there looking for any information. I'm going to stop now because I see it's at like 15 minutes. So yeah, make sure you like and subscribe and share with anyone who you think this might be helpful with. And we will see you guys in the next video. Bye.